and all of them are successful in their own lives, but they couldn't be the part of this big picture longer than they were. So yeah, you have to let go as well.
Yeah, wonderful actually. So now I think we have looked at the formation of Elephant Design as an entity. I'm using the word entity still. When was the first time your team, all of you together, realized that this idea or the startup that we have put together, it's actually on its way to transform into an organization? So when did that shift in thought, in realization? And also my subsequent question is, how did you prepare for that next phase that was coming in terms of the growth?
So many phases, many sort of milestones and turning points. It kind of sounds funny right now, but the day we started officially, which was the 1st of May 1989, we had 3 part-time employees. So there were 6 of us and there were 3 part-time employees. So we did, at no point in time did we ever think that we were not an organization. We had not a single income yet, but we had employed 3 people. One was a typist who was going to type all the proposals, because we thought we were going to get so many queries that one day I will be busy typing proposals. There was a typewriter that time, so there was no computer in 89. It came in a year after that. The second person was an accountant, because we thought we were going to be having so many invoices raised. And my father-in-law, by the way, is a banker. So he had told us to keep our accounts in shape forever, from day one. So the second, that was the accountant. And third was a artwork artist, because we thought we would have so much work that we will not be able to do it ourselves. So we were always an organization, but that's the funny part. But I think the point that we should become a 25 plus organization, a 25 plus team, you need a few systems in place. You need a few systems which are appraisals, attendance, leave, salary structure, and so on. So the day we crossed the number 20, I think that's the point at which we sort of took help in organizing ourselves a bit and getting into systems and processes. But in our mind, we were always an organization. So that challenge happened from day one. And that's really how anybody should start. You should never discount yourselves. Right now when you take the plunge, you might come free to your organization. But keep counting what is the money your organization would have spent had they hired somebody like you. Keep count of that. Never discount yourself completely. Because you are an organization from the day you have your idea. So keep that count and earn that money one day, if not today.
So also in terms of when you're preparing, just an extension of the question, when you're preparing for this onward journey into an organization, again the key stakeholders, did you see an evolution in the role there as well?
Yeah, so this is definitely a question I need to answer, because as we started working, we realized the strengths. So while all of us were designers, some of us had strengths in some things and some of us had in something else. So there are some clear roles that a company needs to have. One role is of business development. And not everybody is sort of built to do what needs to be done for business development. Not everybody is outgoing, not everybody is outspoken, not everybody feels happy about meeting more people and telling what you do. So some people it comes naturally, and those would naturally assume the role of business development. The second one is the faculty of finances. So not everybody is naturally a great financial manager, but for some of us it probably is something that we like doing, or we feel we are more efficient and proficient in doing that. So that's the second one. The third one is talent management. We hate to call anything HR, but we have extremely talented people, so we only call it talent management. So the people who are working for your group, your team, your dream basically, or your vision, how do you see that their dreams are also coming true? So we feel that some of us are naturally good at understanding what other people need as they grow and so on. So that was one more role. And the fourth role was of building a strategy for future, for the company. Because if everybody is busy in today, who's thinking about tomorrow? And not everybody again is a futurist. There are some people who know how to envision a future better than the others. There are some people who are more realists. They cannot envision the future. They can execute the future. So the moment you realize these strengths within the team, you slowly start making that as a formal role within the company. And we really did that in the initial roles. So that is really how we managed it. So there is a definite role to each of us beyond design.
And of course, I mean, the roles are set, the vision is there, the organization is in place, but I don't think as an entrepreneur, or for that matter, any person who's working in business, you can really escape the challenges. That's probably as an entrepreneur, the part of the flavor of being an entrepreneur. So if you can share with us, through your journey, probably a few from the early years for the benefit of the early entrepreneurs that we have in the group, and some maybe now, as you are a full completely established organization, some of these challenges, some of the kind of choices you had to make, and maybe a few outcomes. So if you can just share a few stories around.
So I'll start with the first, like you say, start at the beginning. So the first story is the day we decided that we are forming this company, and we got hold of a CA in Pune. Why we came to Pune is another story, and maybe on another day. But Pune happened for a certain reason, and out of the 6 people you
You're
saw,
building a suspense here. Why it happened in Pune, we need to know. Yeah?
so we'll come to that once I tell you the challenge. So out of the 6 people you saw in that picture, only one person had grown up in Pune or was from Pune, and the rest of us had, in fact, 3 of us had never been to Pune before. They landed up in Pune and said, okay, this is a place to go. So when we went to this CA who was going to advise us in forming the company, and we had no clue how to do this, but we knew we had to form the company. Because we wanted to open a bank account, because somebody wanted to pay us in advance for a project we had already got. So the CA heard us out and he said, what are you going to be doing? And I had very little faith in our ability at that time to explain what we were going to do, because we hadn't done anything yet. And there wasn't a design company in place to talk about. So the CA heard us out and he said, I think partnership will be very good for you. So we said, why partnership, why not private limited? We had heard few words, we didn't know. So he said, it's very easy to wind up a partnership company. It's very difficult to wind up a private limited. So we had a really hard time to convince him that, we are not going to wind up and we have to get her for good. And this is a business and, we are going to earn money, don't worry, and so on. But we still had to listen to him because he was supposed to be the knowledgeable guy. So we started a partnership company. So it started with that as a challenge. The second was, the moment it got formed, we went to the bank and we said we want to open an account. Again, the bank manager was very curious, what is this business? Design, what is this? And he said, I think you should open a savings account because you don't need a current. Because he had no faith that any money was going to come into it. So I think the conviction, so the point is that how convinced are you about what you're going to do? I mean, there will be people and pressures and influences who will not believe in your idea. But how convinced are you about your idea? If you are convinced, no CA or banker in the world or VC in the world can stop you. So be really sure about what your idea is, and like we say, look at it from all sides and see that it's like how it needs to work. So that was an early challenge. The other challenges were as you grow, there are challenges. So when you are growing too fast, you have a challenge of acquiring talent. When you are growing too slow, you have a challenge of acquiring large projects. Thankfully, in our case, I think the challenges came in the form of large projects. So when some really large size, large responsibility, large money projects came in, we suddenly realized that as an organization, we were not ready. So how do you make yourself ready? And one of the challenges also is that when you have this, when you have the entrepreneurs who started a company, who are still running the company after several years, and are extremely passionate about what is happening in the company. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but the challenge is that, and also when you believe that you need to have a flat organization and not deep hierarchy and so on. Everybody in the company believes they report to the directors. So about 10 years ago, when we realized that this was becoming a challenge and that we have probably not built an organization to do robust large projects independent of us, we got consultants to look at our organizational structure.